So what I have here is an account that I'm about to show you on another slide in just a second. It has this role ARN, with this account number that I've discovered in some way or another as an attacker. It's called cross account access. It's a might seem a common name. You might have cross admin access. You might have cross account, any variation that can be captured in a dictionary. And it has this policy because this is a developer account that I've just set up. And I just have administrator to allow my fellow developers to access this account. Now, where the tricky part comes in, or where the vulnerability actually lies, is in this tab right here. You saw this tab a minute ago under with Josh, and here we're going to look at trust relationships. So, excuse me, a trust relationship, you can of course read the docs, but it basically is saying that anybody inside of this account, any user in one of these accounts can assume this particular role. Now, where does the problem lie? Because this looks okay, right? The problem lies in the ability of being able to do this. You can say AWS star, which means that any AWS account can assume this role. So I need just these three things. I need the account number, the role name, and then I need a misconfigured IAM role that is too broad. So we talked earlier about IAM being kind of like a network. Think of this as opening a firewall rule that's way too broad. Like I've just opened this to the world, right? So I'm going to click Update Trust Policy. Now, AWS, in their defense, they tried to tell you, look, this is a bad thing, but I don't care, right? So now I'm vulnerable to this particular attack. So I'm going to jump back here and I'll show you the layout of what we've got and what we're going to walk through. So in this very poorly drawn whiteboard drawing, excuse me, this is me as the attacker. This is the account we were just in. And what we have here is a 3-person dev team set up in a full mesh configuration, sharing account resources using cross-account roles. And we also have one developer who has a super dev who has some access to prod. Maybe they push code, maybe they retrieve customer records, maybe they download customer records for analysis, who knows? But the point is that this is a production environment that may or may not contain some PII. It may contain credit card numbers, may contain customer account numbers. It could be anything that's important to your organization. So I'm going to refer back to this diagram quite a bit as we're walking through, just to highlight where I am in the process. And I threw this up just to show how things can get very complex quickly. The more developers that we add to this organization, the more lines the more entries in that trust policy, and where the temptation starts to become more greater, rather, to just say, you know what, I'm tired of updating this thing. I'm just going to do star. It'll work for all future accounts in our organization, and I'm going to move on with my life. So this just goes to show you how quickly things can get complex.